Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a hot minute, it feels like. I'm back with another video here, and today we're talking about the TTS Leagues. We have a new format coming up for 2025 that we can kind of go over and break down. So, in the previous years, for the last 15 cycles, the league has been run. I recently joined up in the Infinity Watch team last season, and up until this point, the events have been run where you'd have one event for 6 weeks, and you'd pull a pool of players from the different time zones and do a 32 person about, maybe it goes up to 40 depending on popularity, and you get a champion of each cycle, 3 cycles a year. And there it was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to do those things and have multiple chances to try to win a big event like these multiple times a year, and I've liked them a lot. But we're going with a fresh, new options here, where one where they're going to have 5 events that are qualifiers, and they're all going to give you points that lead into a 64 player invitational based on the highest point scoring players and players who win these crises events that give you automatic qualifying positions. And there's a lot of awesome things about this that I feel like are improvements to how things have been done in the past. But at least at a bare minimum, it's a lateral change. I don't think there's anything that's like not as good. So we'll see. I mean, of course, this is new, and we don't know. We don't know. So this is exciting to try something new here, spice it up a little bit. So the cool thing about each event too is that you get points. I think as long as you have won one game. I think if you win one game, you get at least some points. It really incentivizes players to play all 6 rounds, even if they have lost 2 games in the past. If you lost 2 games, you're out of cuts, and so players who made a goal or had a personal goal of making it into the elimination rounds and lost 2 games, they would potentially drop out. This encourages players to play through all 6 rounds, and it also rewards players who either win. Of course, if they win, it incentivizes people for trying to win a crisis event for their time zone. But it also incentivizes players that aren't lucky enough to win those into playing as many crisis events as possible to give you more points. As it's an additive amount of points per event, so it's not like you're taking top 3 or anything like that. Top 3 points for the round for best of. You're gonna get points for each event you participate in. So it's going to reward the best players that have won the events and the players that you see active in the events, in as many events as possible. I love that approach. So you're gonna have a mix of grinders and players who maybe had the run of their life. And a combination in the top 64 players, which is another cool thing about this, is that 64 players make the top. So I'm a competitive person. If you didn't know that about me, and so I always like to aim for the top, and so the top level competitiveness of this, it appeals to me. Having one winner gives it a little more punch, and um, man, it's a little more punchy. Like, you feel like if you win this, it feels a little bigger than it has before. And that's going to be exciting because there's only going to be one TTS champion in 2025, and it's going to take 1 year to get there. So I love that aspect. And that's really exciting and really appealing to someone who likes to aim for the number 1 spot. But anyway, if you're not one of those players and just like to play in events, this gives this, in generally speaking, or like I think this gives more opportunities to play more games for more players. There was second chance events that were run simultaneously to the elimination brackets, but typically those were less popular than the main Swiss rounds that were being played in the past. So So I think this is going to drive more players more often. I think it's this is very cool how we can see an end goal and like we can see the end goal of the next of the year. Um, and it's just really exciting to be at this point where we haven't the game hasn't launched yet or the season hasn't launched yet, but we know that in 12 months from now we'll have our first 2025 champion. So it's very very cool. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what happens here. Last chance qualifiers of the season 15 looks like they've already got a spot in, so that I'm sure they're going to be thrilled about that. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. I'm really excited. If you if you want to sign up, the signups are actually live right now. I'm gonna flip over to the here on the Longshanks. So yes, you can join any of these Longshanks events, depending on your time zone. We do have 2 European brackets this time, so there's going to be 6 champions, um, and we're going to see how that goes. So the events, when do they start? They start January 6th, so we've got a couple of weeks or so, and they're going to be 1 round a week type of thing. No roster lock or anything like that. The 64 players, I forget if the 64 players have a roster lock or not. I don't think so. I think so, but um, I don't remember. But anyway, it doesn't matter because that's a year away. So, um, yeah, you can sign up to any one of these that fit your time zone. Obviously, you can only sign up for one thing. There's 6 rounds for each of them, and there are 6 round events with like I think 2 week gaps in between each event. And so they're gonna feel very similar to the Swiss rounds that have happened in the past. And I don't know. I think there's going to be a spreadsheet that has a running total of everyone's points that they've accumulated, and it's going to be fun to see where everyone kind of ends up after 5 Swiss rounds here. And yeah, I'm going to in this video. I'm going to post in the description. I'll post the Discord invite for the TTS where the TTS League is located. So if you aren't in that Discord, you can just follow that link and get an invite, and you can make sure you select the appropriate roles and all that in that Discord to hook you up with the appropriate channels that you want to join. So that's all a thing, and then of course the Longshanks events. I'll just post links to each of these events in the description as well, so they're easy to find and join. But basically, if you join the Longshanks and you're not in Discord, you're going to be kicked if you don't get a response, if we don't get responses from you. So you need to be in the Discord and being able to find your pairings through the Discord in order to not get kicked from the event. But anyway, this is pretty exciting. So please consider joining. I have been playing in the TTS League since season 7. So I've played in what is that? Is that now 8 straight leagues? Then I don't know, 9 leagues straight. And man, as much as I tell myself sometimes to take a break, I just my gosh, this is funny because this is now incentivizing players to play in as many events as possible. And so I might like have to. I might. I might play. I mean, I'm gonna play. I'm pretty much locked in. It's only 1 game a week, right? The scheduling part is sometimes the hardest part of the event. But if you're in your time zone and you're committed to being free, multiple nights a week, and or early on you schedule your games. They're typically to take place around 7 p.m. And as long as you've got multiple days that are free each week, it's usually no problem to schedule the game. People are flexible and things like that, and so it's not a huge commitment, and obviously it's a lot of fun. So I um, I think that the events also appeal to players of all skill levels. The way the pairings work is that you will get paired with people that have the same records as you. So of course, in the first round, it's completely a Wild West situation. You could get paired against the best player in the event, and or you could be paired against a new player or someone in between that. So It's but as you play and you win or lose your games, you'll in theory be paired against people with this similar strength as you, and yeah. So basically, by the last 3 rounds of the event, the games will get closer and closer as the strength-based matchmaking of the event kind of like dials in, right? So that either way, regardless if you get paired against an MCP god or someone who's just playing pretty casually, what I have found is that the community itself is very incredible. They're such it's such a great community that I've basically out of the thousands, I don't know, have I played 1,000 games? I must have at this point. Out of the 1,000+ games that hold on, is that right? Nah, maybe it's like closer to like 400. Hmm. I've never thought about that, but out of the hundreds of games I have played, I have had very few. I can count the bad experience I've had on one hand, and maybe more of those are my own fault. So, uh, yeah, that's everyone I play against is a cool person and very nice and helpful. If I have questions about interactions and just like well intended people. So, if you're new and you're on the fence about signing up, I highly recommend it. It is such a great game and it's such a great community. And the events themselves are run really smoothly. Each Sunday night or early Monday morning, the TOs rip the brackets for the next pairing, and it's pretty consistent, generally speaking. So you're always going to have your pairings pretty early in the week to figure them out, and then as the weeks go on, you get to play your games, and I don't know what to say. Marvel MCP is a freaking fun game, and this is one extra chance to get a game in on your computer. So sign up, and if you sign up to the Eastern bracket, I'll be running the show over there. So make sure you say hi if you are joining my bracket, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Frickin' sign up. All right, let's go. This is going to be a pretty epic event, and 2025 is going to be a lot of fun for the Marvel Crisis Protocol community. So I will catch you guys in the next video.